This will be also our filter. So for an admin of filter and of classroom manager, you're going to have access to everything on this end. So the core of the filter side of things is going to be over here on the policy side. So to start with, we'll have an allow list. The way this is going to be set up is going to be based either on an organizational unit structure. So we'll base the policies on those different OUs and set them. This can also be based on groups. So we support custom groups. So if you do need to set up a custom penalty box or something like that, that's certainly very possible. We also do support Google groups as well too. It is something we have to turn on in the back end, but we can do that as well. So we can see here, I have classroom teachers, so I could set policies for, in this case, just the classroom teachers if I wanted to, and any one part of that group would be impacted by it. And then the way the allow list works is I can come in and I can add a specific site. I can add wildcards to that site. The wildcards are more for a specific site where maybe it has additional parameters you want to add in, such as things like the example here we put games, but that'd be kind of the idea with the wildcards is for those scenarios where it's maybe a longer site or a bigger site that longer URL rather that you want to make sure that you're getting added in here. There's also options to categorize sites. This is going to be a little bit more for the block list side of things there, but there's an option on that end as well too. And then there is an ability to import in from a global list. This would be our global list of sites. So if I said, hey, I may be blocking all webmail, but I want to let through Gmail, I could come in here and I could go ahead and transfer Gmail over. If I select it, I could transfer Gmail over and I could add that as an allowed site just on the fly very quickly this way as well too. So if there's concerns that I might be blocking a category like webmail, but I want to let through all the other websites, I could come through and transfer those other ones over to an allow list if I needed to as well.
Quick question there, Chuck.
Absolutely.
John asked if there's any future release on setting up class periods so that the classes would turn on automatically and teachers wouldn't have to set up the schedules.
Not quite yet. In the future potentially, but not in not in the current version of Classroom Manager. There'd be some more stuff we'd need to be able to pull on that end with rostering data. So
Okay, cool. Thank you.
absolutely. And then you can go through and update your sites or delete your sites as well. So easy way to go ahead and manage things. There's also an ability to import from a file as well too. Or so if you have a list of existing sites, you can certainly go ahead and bring that over as well too. And then we do support categories as well. Categories, again, really in content filter here are more designed for the block list side of things. So a lot of stuff that you'd probably end up blocking or you potentially don't want your users to access there on that end. And then the block list side of things is going to be a little bit more interesting here. So on the block list side, we're going to list out, of course, the various sites that you want to get added. So you can do that. There's an option to mute the violation. So there may be some instances where you decide, it's great I'm blocking this site, but I don't necessarily need to know every single time that I'm blocking that site that the kids are hitting that. So maybe you say, hey, I'm blocking some kind of service or something that's running in the background or something like that. And I want to go ahead and make sure it doesn't pop up every single time. That's where mute violation might make a lot of sense there on that end. There's also options to configure notifications on a per site basis if you wanted some notification emails. The notification emails are really just links back into the platform primarily, but that is something that can be scheduled as well. Those can be either immediate notifications or they can be set up on a specific time each day as well. So definitely some flexibility on getting notifications on a per site basis. Probably for most sites, you're not going to be adding on a per site basis notifications, but an option there that's available. And then same idea here, we can come in and add specific sites. There's wildcards in here. So for example, maybe you're saying, hey, anything that's google.com, that's sites or something like that, I might want to be blocking those google.com. And if it contains games somewhere in the site, I want to block it. That'd be a great example of where the wildcards will be really helpful. So you can do contains, equals, starts with, ends with. So there's some flexibility on that wildcard end as well too there. And then an option also, if you really need to block all sites, probably not something you're going to be doing too often, but for those specific custom groups or things like that, where you say, hey, this student is on an allow list only, it is very possible to go ahead and then do that kind of block sites and then just set up that specific allow list there. And again, options in here to import from the global list of sites or the file option as well. And then we also, of course, do support various categories in here. You can come in and grab any category you want there. You can also preview the sites. You can search the sites here as well, too. So if you say in the audio video category, hey, I'm looking for a specific site, you can search for it here, make sure it's in that category there as well, too. And of course, you can do that on the global side as well, too. So if you're looking for a specific site that's in our list, go ahead and search for it and make sure that that's in there. Or, hey, what category is that going to be categorized as ahead of time there? And then same idea here where notifications can be set up as well. You can preview sites on that end. So those are all options there as well. And then have some options on the search term side. That's also a possibility to set up too. And then one of the other things that the filter has integrated into it are what we call risks. So this is a way where the platform is going to be looking at input detection. So when somebody types something into Google, into Gmail, things like that, the platform is going to be looking for those specific inputs. There's two primary inputs, toxicity risk and self-harm. Again, the notifications here are more for just providing access into the platform at the moment there. So do keep that in mind, but that is something that we do have available as well too if we need to be looking for some of those kinds of things. And again, this can be set on a specific OU level as well too. And then the platform does support custom risks. So if there's specific kind of terminology or things you're looking to add, very easy to get that added into the platform as well too. Something that can be really helpful. You could do anything from, hey, I'm concerned people might be cheating on some tests to, of course, the more traditional student safety concerns to something else just specific that might be a problem there. And again, notifications can be configured in a bunch of different spots here as well. And then we do have some YouTube functionality. Our primary functionality on the YouTube side is going to be complementing what you're doing on the YouTube Safe Search or whatever settings you've changed on the YouTube side. So some ability to go in and allow or block specific sites, block all sites, of course. There's some channel options, keywords, which will be the video hashtags. We can drop videos into YouTube and analyze them, which allows you to go ahead and say block a specific video that you found, that someone found, or someone sent your way that might be cause for concern there. Um, so if I we'll grab a random video here, not so random, but this is a good example one here. So we could go in and say, hey, look, here's game highlights from the NFL. So I could allow or block that specific video title. I could also allow or block the NFL specifically. The NFL didn't put any hashtags on this video, so I don't have to allow or block any of those specifically. But some easy ways where I can go ahead and do that as well. And then lastly, there's abilities to block the sidebar, the live chat, and the comments too, to keep the kids just on the specific videos. But that's kind of the idea there, is to help complement what you might already have in place on the YouTube side and lock some things down further. The nice thing too is that any of these video blocks or channel blocks or keyword blocks, these are also going to apply to any embedded content that the students might run across or that they might have embedded into, say, a say a Google Docs or slides or sheets like that. So that's something that the platform will do a nice job of keeping an eye out for as well. And then there's some functionality on the schedule side. I won't get into that too much, but there are ways if you're a state where, hey, we don't want to be monitoring during certain hours or things like that, or hey, when the students go home, it's completely on the parents to monitor. There's options that way too to turn the filter on and off as well. And then violations will be the section here where we can look and see what users are getting into as a whole. So the platform holds on to about a month's worth of data here for these violations, and then we can go through and see what's getting flagged here. So we can see here, this is an example of a risk that got picked up. For anything that's been flagged by the self-harm machine learning model there that you saw earlier, it's going to go ahead and give a reasoning behind that, and then also an ability to report those as false positives too, if it's something that you're not concerned about. Additionally, then we'll just list out block lists, things that are on the block list as well, and whatever else we might be running across here. And then there's ways to sort through that very easily with URLs, based stuff, which will be primarily the block list. We can look at input specifically if there were any specific searches as well too. And then if anyone's doing inputs into ChatGPT or Gemini or things like that, we'll be picking up on that as well too. So some different ways we can separate out the data and make it a little bit easier to take a look at. And then there's a handy report button on here to export that information out as a CSV or a PDF or even schedule a report to go out. And then all of these different filters and search parameters can be used in conjunction with each other to really narrow down what you're looking at on the violations page. You can also use the violations page to look at all browsing activity. You just simply turn off the toggle, and then it would go through and look at all the various activity types there just as a whole. So we would see all the various searches here as a whole, and inputs to potentially as well. But that's the idea on the filtering side there, designed to be lightweight, easy to get running, and then provide some power to block things and get things handled there.